to tell a story about the arbitrary and damaging nature of these lockdowns. I had a friend of mine who ran a flower shop. It was her life's dream to run a flower shop. She loved flowers. She could name every flower out of the book. And her business was closed down during COVID because it was deemed unessential. Now, what was not closed down was the Lowe's Garden Center down the street because Lowe's sold essential items. And so that business got to stay open. That business was somehow shielded from COVID. No one could catch it in Lowe's, but only in the flower shop. And my friend's flower shop went under, it didn't survive. And where's my friend work now? At the Garden Center at Lowe's. She works for the big man now because they were allowed to stay open. They were allowed to keep their businesses going. And the last thing I want to say is Dr. Stein said we need to get big pharma out of the FDA. We need to get the FDA out of our government. We do not need an FDA. Now, when it comes to poisoning air and water, I agree with you. We need to have clean air and clean water. When a company poisons a community, they should be able to sue a company without any tort caps. Let a citizen jury bankrupt the polluters. That'll be a free market incentive to make sure it's never happening again. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to put that in the hands of bureaucrats to say, we can only allow this much poison in our water or that much poison in our air. Hold companies accountable, sue them, take them to court, have a citizen jury bankrupt these companies. But when we remove tort caps, because right now, when they pollute, they get a slap on the wrist. And who created those caps on torts? The government. Because of the debt and deficit spending of our government, that is what creates inflation. When the government prints trillions of dollars out of thin air, it devalues the dollar that is in your wallet. That devalues the dollars that you take to the grocery store to fill up the grocery cart, the dollars you use to pay for your rent, the dollars you use to run your business. And it's time for that to stop. But I also want to talk about the insidious tools that the Fed are trying to use right now to remove cash from our society, namely the CBDC, central bank digital currency. It should be opposed by every single person in this hall with every fiber of our being because it's going to remove the ability for us to privately transact with one another, to privately move our money around as we wish, because the government will know every single purchase you make under a CBDC, and that is how we get to the social credit score nightmare that we don't want to be living in. These aren't just wars that are fighting out of the altruistic nature of wanting to help people around the world. These are wars for profit. These are wars that profit a military-industrial complex that makes money by killing people all over the world. And we allow our tax code and our budget to fund these things. Frankly, Boeing, you can build something else. Raytheon, you can make something else other than bombs. I am so sick and tired of saying we have to kill people around the world to make our economy strong because we make weapons components in these congressional districts. That is BS. That is justifying the murder of innocent people for the profit of a military-industrial complex to which you don't get profit off of. They do. And so if we want a foreign policy that's rooted in peace, we have to examine first why we're not having that. And it's because we have a military-industrial complex that makes the money off of the death, makes the money off of the misery. And I can think no more unjust, disgusting way to make money than to do it by killing innocent people around the world.
Hear, hear.
If you're not hurting anybody with force, fraud, coercion, theft, or violence, your life is your life, your body is your body, your business is your business, and your property is your property. It's not mine, and it sure as hell is not the federal government's.